I want to talk about the act of dreaming in Bion's language. Dreaming is a concept that in Bion's language has many meanings and even has surreal, illusory, and poetic aspects. I'm going to try to dismantle this concept, describe some axes, and explain what Bion was referring to when he spoke about dreaming. I will also use extensions made by Ogden and Eigen. In principle, it must be understood that for Bion, the act of dreaming represents something different from dreaming at night. The night dream does not necessarily represent the act of dreaming, and not every act of dreaming is represented by a night dream. There are nocturnal dreams that for Bion do not represent dreaming, and there are acts of dreaming that are not represented by nocturnal dreams. For Bion, dreaming is a form of processing, that is, something that processes materials. There are compressed, sealed materials that are difficult to digest that dreaming processes and introduces into the mental bloodstream. Something that could not have been previously experienced or dreamt suddenly finds its way into the mental bloodstream. When psychoanalyst Dr. Thomas Ogden defined the concept of dreaming, he wrote that it is an unconscious psychological processing. I reiterate, unconscious psychological processing. I would say unknown psychological processing. He also writes that it is the deepest kind of thinking that we humans possess, a contemplation that occurs in the depth. For Bion, dreaming is a process that continues all the time, during the day and during the night, not only when we sleep. It works in the depth on an unknown level and allows us to feel real, present, awake or asleep, but it also allows us to be here and feel a certain depth of presence, a multi-layered presence. So let's imagine the action of a computer processor, a whisper of a computer processor, an M that goes on all the time in the background. We don't know exactly what it does, but we do know that the fact that the processor works allows us all various accessible and visible functions, higher functions. For example, use a different Microsoft or Apple applications. So we have a process that works continuously in the depth and gives us a sense of meaning to our existence. Ogden imposes the concept dreaming into existence. It's a very nice conceptualization of dreaming. It means the development of the ability to feel fully and deeply alive. Without dreaming, experiencing remains flat, meaningless. Sometimes when I teach a group, we read an article together and I ask the students to submit a piece of art related to the article. We make an exposition on the article and we say that we use art to dream the article into existence, for it to exist. That is, from a set of words that perhaps generates an intellectual, flat, cognitive sense, we try to dream it so that it exists. In other words, the artistic echoes give a certain volume, an experience of depth and personal meaning in relation to the article. It is no longer a piece of intellectual information, but something related to our inner world, and it sits within us as a meaningful unit with volume. So in the same way we do with the article, we dream it into existence for us, for our own sense of existence. There's an action of dreaming that allows for a sense of subjectivity, that allows our present experience to feel that it has depth, volume, personal meaning, and presence. Without it, something can be flat in our existence. There's a commercial that states, the fact that you breathe does not indicate that you're alive. We can live, but it does not mean that we feel that we are alive. It is possible to imagine ourselves waking up in the morning without having enough hours of sleep or not feeling that we dreamt enough. We get up, but we don't feel awake. We get up and move on a functional level. There's something superficial in our sense of existence, something that just works, survives, stays on a functional level. It is as if a certain action, which should have been carried out and allowed us to feel here, was not carried out. Another example that tries to illustrate the feeling of a lack of dreaming is if we think about a family that went on a trip to a nature park. One of the children is more of a dreamer, has another rhythm, and is very connected to nature. When they arrive, he merges with the butterflies, with the earth, and he loses the sense of time. When it's time to go home and the whole family gets into the car, he hasn't exhausted his time with nature yet. But what can be done? They have to go home, and they will probably force him to get into the car. But as he travels to his house in the car, it can be said that he has not yet reached the car. His person is sitting there, but mentally and emotionally, he is not there yet. He is still in the wild. He's in another place, in the rhythm of nature, in nature time. He's not yet in city time, in car time. He can't get there. So there is some action. Given enough time, if it happens deep enough, we can be here and feel like we're here. On the contrary, if it is defective or does not occur, we are apparently here, but our sense of existence is very horizontal and superficial. Ogden writes of the inability to dream. A person unable to dream is imprisoned in the hell of an endless, unchanging world of what is. It is possible to think about someone who lives in a constant survival mode. In Bion's language, the person who cannot dream cannot wake up or go to sleep. That is, although he sleeps, he does not fall into a deep, refreshing sleep, into a symbolic sleep, which feels like a work of art. And although he wakes up, he is not fully awake. There's a missing action that does not allow sustaining those possibilities. That person is in a peculiar in-between mode, hanged in limbo, neither alive nor dead. According to Bion, this peculiar mode of existence characterizes psychotics. Eigen writes something very beautiful. Dreaming makes things real. Perhaps I should say that dreaming makes things feel real. This is an odd claim to make for something people dismiss as it is only a dream. After all, it isn't real. How can something that is not real make things feel real? If for Freud, dreams are the royal road to the unconscious, for Bion, they are a road to the real. So dreaming is a dreamy process, but our sense of truth or reality depends on it. There are even shamanistic traditions that allege that the world is dreamt all the time, the world is dreamt into existence, and the whole existence of the world, its reality, depends on a shared human dreaming process. It is as if we, using a collection of agreements, constantly dream reality into existence, consolidate it to be what it is. Another thing I want to add is a distinction between a real dream versus an unreal one. As I have already said, not all nocturnal dreams from Bion's point of view include the process of dreaming. We could say that if the night dream is symbolic, if it is imaginary, if you really feel that you have passed into another dimension, if there is a surrender into another world, another dimension, and a feeling that you awoke from it more refreshed, then it fits in some way to Bion's definition of dreaming. But if the dream is simply the continuation of everyday annoyances or something very primary, motoric, it cannot be called a dream. It does not include the act of dreaming from Bion's point of view, and in Ogden's language, no psychological processing takes place in it. Ogden distinguishes between nightmares and terrors. For him, a terror is something you wake up from and don't remember. You don't remember what happened. And then you go back to sleep and don't remember what happened in the morning. For him, a terror does not represent dreaming at all, since no processing occurred. You remain the same person. Also, if there was a trauma, the experience of this trauma would remain in its exact same form. Oppositely, a nightmare, despite being a bad dream, a processing occurs in it. In it, there's a processing of materials. For Bion, when something enters the dream process, it is a positive sign. It means that things frozen within the mind, such as traumas, suddenly begin to thaw, entering the emotional and mental bloodstream. They enrich our existential experience, even if they are difficult. Ogden suggests that one of the goals of the therapeutic process is to help patients turn their terrors into nightmares. That is, to help them dream what they cannot dream alone. So dreaming is a process that happens deep down all the time, and it helps us feel deeply real and connected to our lives.